action coming your way. I'm Blake Suniga with Tim Sports and Brian Beneficeni. We welcome you to our coverage of Paris FC versus Strasbourg here on 2K Sports.
And the name that everyone is here to watch is Vincent Leduc. This guy is one of the top prospects in all of France. We are so excited to see what he can do out on this floor.
Yeah, and Leduc might be one of the best that France has to offer. But Paris has an American prospect with MP.
Yeah, Paris, they're so excited about the development of MP. They think he is every bit as talented as Leduc, and tonight, they have a chance to prove it. Well, we've seen some great playmakers come out of France before, but Vincent Leduc might be the best of them when he's finished with his career.
Now here's Illich. Here's Frye. And there's a whistle. It goes on Miller. That is his first foul of the game. Illich. He's guarded by Roquefort. Pass to Illich. Pass to Portier. Here's Frye. Makes no mistake on the open jump shot. And as you said, Leduc, an incredible playmaker, and his feel for the game is something that has him rated as one of the top prospects in the league.
Well, the vision he displays is unreal. When you have a player so young, to have such a strong understanding of space and passing, that's something that coaches dream about.
And you look at the Strasbourg team, they aren't title favorites by any means, but they can compete.
Well, they lack the overall depth that you need to compete for an EVA championship, but they play so well with Ledoux running the show that I think anything is possible here.
5 on the clock. Here's Leduc. Sinks the 15-footer.
Just rising and firing in the mid.
Doggy Dasher.
Oh, was my microphone muted?
No, I have your stream muted. You know the rapper and actor? No, I don't. Like a bunch of stuff. The doggy, the rapper, and artist, man. I remember that guy.
No. Leduc making it look easy.
Just about 2 minutes into the game, first quarter of basketball. Portier left side. The shot from the low post is good.
Textbook. Nice pass, nice catch, nice shot. And we know the backstory with MP. I think he's used his time in France as a way to prove to others that he can play at an elite level.
And we don't know if that's in Europe or back in the United States, but you just get the feeling from MP that this stint is a bit of a showcase for the rest of his career.
Got that one up quick.
Zero hesitation from MP. I love seeing the top.
Yeah, but
Strasbourg trailing.
Is that where you get it from?
Outside Lemuel. Pass to Roquefort. It's tipped. And it's out of bounds to Strasbourg as they're able to retain possession. Miller outside. Now here's Leduc. Clock at 6. It's good. The assist that time from Vasseur.
Clean three-point shot from Leduc. Focused and under control.
Outside for Illich. Pass to Frye. 14 feet out. And it comes off the front of the rim.
Oh, look at the potential they do. It's through the roof.
The way he can facilitate is rare. He's not there quite yet, but you can see him having the type of vision that LeBron, Jokic, and Chris Paul have. It's got that kind of potential.
Roquefort's most effective when he's using his size. He can do a lot of damage close into the bucket.
Pass to Frye. He's over Lemuel. Frye can't get it to go.
Boy, I mean, that shot had no chance of going in.
Yeah, there were a lot of other places he could have gone with the basketball.
I know.
Really ill-advised. Get out of his way.
Yeah, no way that he was going to slow him down.
Nobody
Just
did.
move aside.
Get out of his way.
Yeah, get out of
But
his
this
way.
guy
Come
is
on.
like
I mean, they weren't about to take those points away from him.
But he's also like,
Now here's Zadirko. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. To the middle.
Portier.
They need this. And it's good on the layup.
Well, a bigger lead guard, Portier can have success down low for this Paris ball club.
Now Lemuel.
4 seconds separating the shot and game clock.
Outside to Stewart.
Pass to Leduc. Got it. Good job in the low post.
Strasburg leans on Leduc for his passing, but don't overlook his ability to score from just about anywhere.
Now Ealich.
It'll count. He got it up in time, but it wouldn't
Like, what?
fall for him. Well, it's been a high-scoring, competitive game through the first quarter of play.
Strasburg Basket Pro ahead.
Leading by just 2. And we'll be back in just a minute with the start of the second quarter.
And welcome back to the second quarter of this match.
Oh, you know, they're going that way. You know, you do it again. That's like 1 point. It's like 1 point.
Wait, do I save on my channel?
Just over a minute gone here in the second quarter.
Yeah.
To Leon. Back to Roper.
Miller.
Turned by Lambert.
Just 5 on the clock.
And that one comes off the assist by Miller. And for some of these athletes coming in from overseas, it can be quite the culture shock.
It's not easy to adjust to a team in a city you don't know with a language you don't speak. It's a bit of a time to grow up moment, if you will, but those who make it can flourish. I love this about MP. He can stretch you out and really extend that.
Get out. Help me. Right? Get out. How would you feel a lot?
Great job to hit his teammate on the move.
Here's Frye. He's got 12. 20 feet out. And he sinks that one, hitting the back of the rim on the way in.
Perfect screen there. Set him up with a terrific look.
Yeah, but that's a bad job by the defender to not fight through that screen.
You want to see more effort there.
They can't do anything with the ball. Like, I end up by the shade
in the post. Ealich is there.
Such a wide open look.
See, I'm so green, rubbing off on the opponents.
They need to do a lot of their damage at the starting five.
Well, the on-off numbers for Ledoux are pretty startling. There's a lot of talent on the bench for Strasburg, but I'm not sure if it's quite game ready just yet.
Here's Frye. 14 points for him.
Here's Lemuel.
It's rebounded by Frye.
Harris trailing.
To the wing, right side. Launches a 3.
A rebound by Roper.
Oh, man. Hold on. I'm not liking the percentage right now. I'm not liking the percentage right now. Yeah, well, I like those, so I need 5 on the second quarter.
Now here's Lambert. Defended by Ealich.
Makes it off the glass.
Don't need much range to hit from that distance.
And almost 4 minutes gone in the second quarter of play.
Frye. Lemuel covering.
Puts up the 3. Frye can't get it to go.
And with Coach Lane Graves for Paris FC, this is a bit of a chance for him to showcase what he can do as a coach.
Well, if Coach Graves can lead this team in the EBA tournament, he'll turn some heads for sure. It's not easy to do with such a young roster, but the talent, it's there.
Portier outside. To the Cure. That's good, and it's Portier with the assist.
Give an assist there, not for a pass, but for the solid screen set on the inside that freed him up and made the layup possible.
Lambert. Vasseur defending.
Count it.
They've been playing very smart offensively in the first half. I think that's safe to say.
The numbers support that. They're shooting much better percentage from the field.
Let's see if they can keep it up.
Here's Frye. 14 points for him.
Takes it out to Portier.
And that does it for the first half of play.
Strasburg basket throw ahead.
Up by 8. We'll take a quick break and then get back to the action.
The third quarter is now underway here between Paris and Strasburg. And for guys that have played or watched both this league and the NBA, there are some stark differences.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, Europe, there's a lot less isolation, much more team-oriented play. And really, you talk about the skill of these players, pretty much everybody can hit a jumper from distance as well.
Strasburg leading.
Miller with the ball. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. Sinks the three-pointer.
You gotta appreciate the decisiveness Leduc showed there. He knows he has the green light to fire off the catch.
Here's Frye.
Screened by Elich.
To the paint.
Kicks it out to Zadirko.
6 to shoot. Here's Frye.
It's rebounded by Strasburg.
Yeah, he didn't have a hand in his face. I thought for sure he was going to bury that one.
Pass to Leduc.
Nifty move. Off the left rim and out.
And we've seen MPs start to adjust to the speed of the French league, looking much more comfortable.
Oh, listen, guys, it can be rough when you first start playing the game professionally. But MP has got his fitness right and has the look of a pro player now.
The quick action from Quentin Miller. He saw a window and sent the pass.
Here's Frye. Good for basket number 7 tonight on a not so unlucky 13 shots.
Miller left side.
Sinks that one from the post.
Taking it right to the heart of that defense. Miller with a high percentage look.
Here's Frye.
Immune covering.
Zadirko, good.
One of the reasons they're trailing is because we haven't seen enough of that. He needs to become a bigger part of their offense.
And here's Miller. Leduc for 3. They get it back.
And it's good for 2.
Well, with all the youth that Paris FC has, you would think that they lean on their guys. They've got some young guys really stepping up.
Yeah, very quickly, guys like MP and other younger players have found ways to contribute. Kind of seems like Paris FC gets stronger every time they take the court.
One item that stood out is their ball movement.
Things are definitely clicking, and more importantly, it's tough to defend.
Really left alone that time.
They got to appreciate how competitive the Union is, coming right back and winning the answer triple.
Here's Frye. He's got 19. Hits it from three-point range.
He's made his impact with a three-point shot today, and that's another big one.
That's where he's been getting his points, Tim. And with a couple more out there, we've got a real ball game on our hands.
Maybe hit a few more.
Leduc for 3. A rebound by Zadirko.
Here's Paris. Pass to Portier.
Frye.
Back to Portier.
Here's Frye.
Lemuel covering.
Inside. Here's Elich.
A rebound by Roquefort. Miller left side. Now here's Leduc.
He's got 10.
Boy, I mean, this has not been a quarter really to remember for him.
He's not making any sort of impact for them at that end of the court.
Hard to get that shot off with the size difference there. That makes a really tough individual matchup, especially in the post.
That's a big challenge he's taking on. Going in there with the big boys, great job.
Okay, he's at the big boys table now.
Speaking to the random atmosphere in the league.
Here's Frye. He gets it to fall, and that makes it a single-digit lead.
And MP is just taking charge right now. Every time he gets the ball, he's looking to score.
Pass to Leduc. The three. On the wing, Lemieux. 6 on the shot clock. Harris grabs the miss. Over to the left wing. Outside for Elich. Frye. Lemieux covering. Frye can't get it to go.
That's one he knows he could have drained.
Leduc for 3. It's rebounded by Frye.
He's having all sorts of problems with his shot.
The way he's shooting the ball right now, yeah, the words ice and cold come to mind.
He's not Trae Young, but he's feeling like Jesus.
Unstoppable offense for both teams. I love the pace of this game.
Yeah, the pace is only picking up the deeper we get into this game. This has absolutely been a fun one to watch.
Outside Leduc. Gets that one to drop. That's 1 of 5 shots he's made while missing 7 others.
A huge scoring night for Leduc. We're seeing why most are saying he'll be a first-round pick. Another gem from French.
All right. No, there's still hope. There's still hope.
Closing down on leads is done by making smart plays on offense and taking care of the rock. It's not done by hoisting up bonehead threes like
Paris FC basket to start out.
Well, you know, we've seen some great playmakers from France before, but Vincent Ledoux might be the best of them when he's finished with his career.
Here's Frye. Zadirko, good.
Wow, Zadirko with 3 key words. Get off me.
And they call an illegal screen here.
The idea of setting a screen on that play, it was the good idea, the right idea. But the execution was not.
Yeah, you really want to set a hard screen, but you also want to make sure it's a legal one.
Here's Frye. Lemieux covering. Shoots. And it falls. All over the rim and in. As you said, Leduc, an incredible playmaker. And his feel for the game is something that has him rated as one of the top prospects in the league.
Well, the vision he displays is unreal. When you have a player so young, to have such a strong understanding of space and passing, that's something that coaches dream about.
And we know the backstory with MP. I think he uses his as a way to prove to others that he can play at an elite level.
And we don't know if that's in Europe or back in the United States, but you just get the feeling from MP that this stint is a bit of a showcase for the rest of his career.
Outside Dumont. Here's Frye. That's good, and it's Dumont with the assist.
That's 2 for MP, utilizing that in-between area. So smart out there.
Pass to Leduc. Here's the 3. Strasburg again missing. Now here's Portier. Here's Frye. Tries a 3. Here's Zadirko. His second shot goes in. Off to a good start. 2 for 2.
Well, defensively, I mean, you got to get a body on Zadirko and box him out. He's a very large dude out there.
Outside Visteur. Lemieux. The kick out to Leduc. 5 to shoot. To halt the run. And he the layup.
Look at the Strasburg team. They aren't title favorites by any means, but they can compete.
Well, they lack the overall depth that you need to compete for an EBA championship, but they play so well with Ledoux running the show that I think anything is possible here.
Now here's Lemuel. Outside Ledoux. Over Portier. Ledoux with another miss. Harris with the lead. Here's Frye. He's got 7. Again, it's Harris.
Looks like they're going to have one of those days where they can do no wrong.
Well, they certainly haven't done anything wrong so far, stretching the lead into double digits already.
Such a hot start. Look at the potential they do. It's through the roof.
The way he can facilitate is rare. He's not there quite yet, but you can see him having the type of vision that LeBron, Jokic, and Chris Paul have. It's got that kind of potential.
It has taken them no time to build this lead up. Great first quarter for them offensively.
Yeah, but they can't sit back. They need to keep the pressure on the defense and really try to put this one away early.
Great point, Brian. You have to continue to build on this lead.
Now here's Ledoux. Back to Viseur.
Off target with the 3.
I thought that was going to drop. It looked good from here.
Looked good here, too. I'm as shocked as you.
Puts up a 3. Frye, good.
What a start they've gotten off to. A big lead for them, and we're still in the first quarter.
And it hasn't been just about their scoring, Tim. They're playing tremendous defense, too.
Well, Brian, you got to give it up for the coach as well. This game plan has been perfect.
Ledoux for 3.
And the 3 ball is good.
Looks like he took that actually a little personal.
Yeah, that was definitely some payback right there.
That's what you love to see. 2 guys going at it.
Here's Frye.
Outside for Elich.
Shoots the 3. Used every last tick on the clock and dropped it in for the buzzer beater.
Digging deep to hit that shot. That's showing some guts.
No hesitation, no fear, just tremendous execution.
Domination in the first quarter. It's been pretty lopsided.
You with the block? I didn't even know that.
And welcome back to the second quarter of this matchup here in Strasburg.
That was me with the block. Oh my goodness.
Strasburg.
Second quarter, and we're just over a minute in. Trying his luck deep. Frye, good.
And for some of these athletes coming in from overseas, it can be quite the culture shock.
It's not easy to adjust to a team in a city you don't know with a language you don't speak. It's a bit of a time to grow up moment, if you will, but those who make it can flourish.
Here's Portier.
It's good, and he makes his first shot of the game.
Well, there's hot guys, and there's really hot. They can't miss.
Sometimes an individual will go on a shooting tear like this, but a whole team?
This is special, Brian.
Here's Leon. And out of bounds, Harris will take it.
I'm giving my all to this PS5 controller.
We're now around 2 minutes into this second quarter. Here's Frye. He's got 17.
Out to Ahern.
Launches it.
Rebound by Roquefort. The way this roster is constructed for Strasburg, they need to do a lot of their damage with the starting 5.
Well, the on-off numbers for Ledoux are pretty startling. There's a lot of talent on the bench for Strasburg, but I'm not sure if it's quite game-ready just yet.
Now here's Ahern.
A 17-point lead, and it's their biggest. And there's the 3-second violation. Here in quarter 2, we've played a little over 2.5 minutes now.
Here's Lemuel. And it's slammed in by Lemuel.
One thing I like about Lemieux is that he takes what's available. If the defense gives him an opportunity to dunk, he's going to take it.
Pass to Dumal.
Connects from three-point range.
He is such a well-rounded offensive player. He's got a little bit of everything.
Now Leduc. Now here's Roquefort. Back to Miller.
From the arc. It's rebounded by Frye.
And with Coach Wayne Graves for Paris FC, this is a bit of a chance for him to showcase what he can do as a coach.
Well, if Coach Graves can lead this team in the EBA tournament, he'll turn some heads for sure. It's not easy to do with such a young roster, but the talent, it's there.
Well, the three-pointer has to be his best friend today, no question.
It has been today, anyway. Most of his points have been courtesy of the deep ball.
Three-pointer is a nice friend to have.
Now here's Leduc.
He's got 7. Miller for 3. Third time is not the charm. 0 for 3 from the floor. Out to the right wing. Here's Frye.
That's good, and it's Portier with the assist.
Starting to pull away here. They're putting some points up.
Yeah, this one's threatening to get out of hand pretty soon.
So Strasburg now.
Man, they've been looking at a sink offensively.
They need a bucket in a big way here to regain some confidence.
Here's Leduc. And just miss after miss right now.
And we've seen MP start to adjust to the speed of the French league, looking much more comfortable.
Oh, listen, guys, it can be rough when you first start playing the game professionally. But MP has got his fitness right and has the look of a pro player now.
Out of bounds, it'll be Paris ball.
Boy, did they ever make a mess out of that one. A terrible turnover.
Here's Portier.
Out to the wing. Here's Frye. 20 feet out.
Again, it's Paris.
And their lead gets even more enormous. They played terrific basketball at both ends.
No doubt about it. I certainly can't think of an area where they've underperformed.
And neither can I.
And through one half, it hasn't even been close.
Paris FC basket ahead.
Opening a huge gap. Hold tight, we've got more basketball action headed your way.
The third quarter is now underway here between Paris and Strasbourg. And for guys that have played or watched both this league and the NBA, there are some stark differences.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, Europe, there's a lot less isolation, much more team-oriented play. And really, you talk about the skill of these players, pretty much everybody can hit a jumper from distance as well.
Lemieux, no good.
He didn't punish them for the weak coverage, but they can't count on him missing.
He's got to go right back to that shot. Zero hesitation from MP. I love seeing the confidence.
Now here's Miller. Guarded by Dumal. Pass to Vasseur. Roquefort.
No good on the triple.
Vasseur with the steal. Here's Lemieux. It's good. The assist that time from Vasseur.
Lemieux doesn't take a soft approach. If he has to deal with contact, it doesn't really bother him much.
Now Zadirko.
Pass to Illich.
Here's Frye.
Screen by Illich.
Frye, good.
Well, with all the youth that Paris FC has, you would think that they lean on their vets, but they've got some young guys really stepping up.
Yeah, very quickly, guys like MP and other younger players have found ways to contribute. It kind of seems like Paris FC gets stronger every time they take the court.
Clean three-point shot from Leduc. Focused and under control.
And now around 2 minutes gone by in this half. Frye can't get it to go.
And here's Strasburg.
Down low. It's stolen. From about 19 feet. Shoots a three. Strasburg with the rebound. Pass to Lemuel. Miller. Zadirko defending. The kick out to Leduc. And Strasburg hits again from deep.
A huge scoring night for Leduc. We're seeing why most are saying, look at a first-round pick. Another gem from France.
Here's Frye. They waste no time getting those 3 points back.
Only took them a few seconds to answer the three ball at one end with their own.
A three-point battle starting to take shape here. He always knows where his teammate's going to be, and he'll have that ball there waiting for him.
Outside Dumont. Frye. That one falls. Nice feed from Dumont.
I love this about MP. He can stretch you out and really extend that defense.
Pass to Roquefort. Jacks up a three. That shot, no good. What a showing we've seen from MP. He's clearly had more of an impact on the game than Leduc.
It seems like MP has stepped it up a notch, maybe trying to show that he's the guy to watch instead of Leduc. For whatever the reason, there is no question he's been a force on offense with the ball in his hands.
That's rim protection at its finest. Elich refusing to give up the easy basket.
And Harris going with a different look here.
Random uncle. And guy looks that is the most unremarkable looking guy ever.
On defense, Paris. Strasburg again missing. Ahern. He's covered by Ahern.
No, these people must have done nothing on the ball.
Pass to Leon. Outside Leduc. No good from outside. There's Blanchet. He's guarded by Roquefort. Here's Ahern. Good as the jump shot falls.
Such a selfless play. MP really enjoys dropping dimes like that.
It's 9 seconds separating the shot clock and the game clock.
Their rebounding has been a big key to their success in this game.
There really has been a completely one-sided battle on the boards.
He hits the back iron and sinks the shot.
And MP is just taking charge right now. Every time he gets the ball, he's looking to score.
At the end of the third quarter, a huge lead, and this one may already have been decided. Paris FC basket ahead, delivering the blowout. And we'll have the start of the fourth quarter for you as soon as we get back from this short break. Now tipping off this fourth quarter action between Paris FC Basket at Strasburg Basket Pro. Here's Leon. Pass to Bellini. Lambert.
It's on the floor. Did you hear that? Did you see?
A little over 2.5 minutes have passed by now here in the fourth quarter. Miller for three. A rebound by Vasseur.
Cash, you look at him, you watch him, and you notice his mechanics, they're totally out of whack. He's lost all feel for his shot.
And you can tell that just by looking at his numbers. Nothing going down for him right now.
Boy.
Back to Leduc. 4 on the shot clock. Pass to Blanchet. The three-pointer is on target.
And add another three-pointer to their second half total.
They came out of the break dropping bombs and are just not letting up.
You'll love to see that.
Outside Lemuel. Up and in on the layup.
A wiry wing. Lemieux able to sneak in for two.
Pass to Frye. We've played just over 3.5 minutes now in this fourth quarter. Now Miller.
Subwoofer.
Outside Leduc. Monsieur with the screen. Lemuel. Great positioning on the putback.
Just an all-out effort there by Lemieux. It's an added bonus when guys like him hit the offensive glass.
Outside Vasseur. Pass to Leduc. Here's Blanchet. Here's Frye. Lemuel covering. Here's Frye. Over Lemuel. Again, it's Paris.
This is a serious game-clinching run they're on.
They are just not backing off. They're going to close this one out in style.
Guys, look at the points. I just dropped 41. Hello, 41.
What a surge.
Give them credit. It was just to finish this one off. This had come earlier. They might have been able to get back into it.
100%. They needed this a lot sooner than they got it.
Yeah, where was this earlier?
And Paris tacks on 2 more.
And I love MP's shot selection. Just keeping things simple and taking what the defense is giving him.
Just 1 second between the shot clock and game clock. Pass to Vasseur. Leduc. The three-pointer off the mark. Here's Frye. That's going to put a ribbon on this one.
They're advertising my stream. Let me read this chat real quick. Let me read your chat really quick. So it seems I can't read your chat.
Paris FC comes into town and secures the win.
Well, when you got a young team like Paris is, it's never easy to get a win on the road. They showed a lot of grit and fight the way they battled it out.
And for MP, nice for this team to get a win over Leduc with so many fans in attendance.
And this win doesn't necessarily mean that MP is going to jump Leduc on prospect boards or anything, but he certainly showed that he has a lot to offer, and he continues to develop.
Bro, you can't hear me. You can't hear me.
And that's going to do it tonight, folks. For Brian Banafatemi and Tim Swartz, this is Blake Zuniga saying thanks for watching.
Oh my God, I'm
Vincent Leduc is considered one of France's best playmakers, but you thoroughly outplayed him tonight. What does that say?
I'm advertising your stream. I love you. I know it. You already know. Bro, I do not have to get that close to the mic for you to hear me, man. You can hear me just fine. Just turn me all the way up. You don't need to be hearing nothing else. What are you hearing? Like Asian voice actors just like yelling and moaning.
That if you don't know about me, you're gonna find out.
Don't need to hear none of that.
Vince thought I was some loudmouth American just here to cash a check. But someday he's gonna realize.
I'm sorry.
This is
sorry.
my story.
Don't leave my stream.
I'm the main character.
I'm so sorry.
And he's just watching.
On top of outplaying Leduc, you helped lead Paris to victory. Talk about it.
Yeah, at some point I just felt that if we were going to win, I was going to have to step up, so I did. I'm comfortable carrying that burden.
And lastly, you put together quite the highlight reel tonight. What prompted such enthusiastic play?
He just said he's comfortable crossing up Roy Purdy.
Most of it is in the moment reaction.
Doing something like that. This guy's
Sometimes
crazy.
a flashy pass is the only way to get the ball past a defender.
He might have 2 chips on his shoulder crossing up Roy Purdy. That's crazy. That's a death wish.
DNA.
Thanks, MP.
Yeah.
Oh my God, look at that. 3 stars for a 3-star high-value black man.
How was the escargot?
I'm too crazy with it. I'm too crazy with it.
I mean, it's basically just a bunch of butter and garlic, but it also has some crunchy bread on it.
Do you hear this
know what it
nerd
was,
talking?
but hey, look, Americans give Snell a bad rap, but them things.
And I told these boys don't at me. Why they at me? Look at this. MP projected second in the draft. Need to be first pick. Immediately, early second round ain't enough. little hard from me. Never mind, I can't comment on my own stream. Oh, I can. I can't comment on my own stream. I can't comment on my own stream. My arm hurts, man. I have to keep the stupid controller all the way up to my mouth for it to even be, like, distinguishable what I say.
In tonight's matchup against Marseille, you get a first-hand
Shut
look
up. Alana Griffin. That's exactly who that is.
Angle means...
This is a do-or-die game for Paris FC.
You're right, Miss Miller. That's
I don't care.
What a view of Paris. We are live here in one of the world's most iconic cities for tonight's game. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us for tonight's FPSL action between Paris FC and Marseille. I'm Blake Studio with Tim Swartz and Brian Beneficenti. Guys, this should be a fun one.
It's old versus new here. It's an interesting one. Veteran Marseille on one side, looking to steal a win against the youth movement of Paris FC.
And tonight, Paris needs this victory to qualify for the EBA tournament.
Well, certainly a lot on the line for MP and the rest of the Paris squad. But I know that Louis Dupont and Marseille would love the chance to play the spoiler here in front of a rowdy Parisian crowd.
Well, really, guys, so much on the line tonight for Paris FC. A win here against Marseille, and they'll punch their ticket to the EBA tournament. But if they lose, that's the end of their championship aspirations for this year.
Frye, guarded by Dupont. Frye can't get it to go.
That's too good a look to pass up there, despite the results.
Here's Parker. And Elich pulls it down. You get the feeling that MP is going to do everything in his power to get this Paris team into the tournament.
For MP, it's not just about getting to the tournament. He wants to win the whole thing. Usually a team from France has as good of a chance as any to make some noise there. There are some great teams in Spain and Turkey as well, but from what I've seen, they could do it.
And we knew coming into this season that Marseille would be strong. They really turned it on down the stretch.
Thank you, David, for the 800 bits.
Has led the way, taking his game to another level the last few weeks. Overall, the entire team, they've surpassed their fans' expectations already.
Thank you, Alvin, for the $50. Appreciate it.
Shoots from the high post.
It's hauled in by Bourgeois.
Well, he rushed that one. If he was out of position, but he couldn't
Thank you,
make
George,
it
for the $500.
Steps back and drains the J.
Well, the name Parker is obviously well known in France. Leo's got a bigger frame than Tony, but sometimes
stuff on these big
and you see the jumping from afar.
So Paris will get the first possession.
I just want to look at stream settings and see what I can do with it. And it seems absolutely.
Well, really, guys, so much on the line tonight for Paris FC. A win here against Marseille, and they'll punch their ticket to the EBA tournament. But if they lose, that's the end of their championship aspirations this year.
Pass to Dupont. Arrow outside. Parker a screen.
Beyond the arc.
Arrow shot is off. You get the feeling that MP is going to do everything in his power to get this Paris team into the tournament.
For
Paris FC basket to start out.
Well, really, guys, so much on the line tonight for Paris FC. A win here against Marseille, and they'll punch their ticket to the EBA tournament. But if they lose, that's the end of their championship aspirations for this year.
Frye, good.
All right, little stuff from MP, going with the midi.
I got a strong right leg.
Now here's Bourgeois, defended by Elich.
He's good at that right leg.
Pass to Dupont. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass. You get the feeling that MP is going to do everything in his power to get this Paris team into the tournament.
For MP, it's not just about getting to the tournament. He wants to win the whole thing. And usually a team from France has as good of a chance as any to make some noise there. There are some great teams in Spain and Turkey as well, but from what I've seen, they could do it.
Interesting, unimpactful guy you can ever
First
see in
quarter,
your life.
just over a minute played.
Without a doubt,
playing at the same level as me. My character is 18. What's he doing?
Really a gifted finisher, one of the best finishers in all of Europe.
He's the heartbeat of this team, and he is their leader. Marseille can go as far as Dupont takes them, and the way he's played all season, the sky is the limit for L'Aigle.
It's stolen by Parker. Pass to Brisebois. Barrow. To the paint. Shot by Bourgeois, no good. Here's Frye, guarded by Dupont.
I swear to God.
They get it back. Sadirko. And there's 2 points. Work on the glass, paying off that time.
Well, defensively, you got to get a body on Sadirko and box him out. He's a very large dude out there.
And the basket by Brisebois.
That's just run-of-the-mill for him. He's one of the more skilled offensive players out there.
And we knew coming into this season that Marseille would be strong. They really turned it on down the stretch.
No doubt. I mean, Dupont has led the way, taking his game to another level the last few weeks. Overall, the entire team, they've surpassed their fans' expectations already.
Brown made that in, but he did.
Inside, and stolen by Sadirko. Here's Elich. That's good, and it's Portier with the assist.
And as a point guard, Portier understands it's his responsibility to involve his teammates. That's a great pass right there.
Now here's Barrow. Down
low. This stupid story mode over with.
Shot by Bourgeois, no good. Harris with the lead. And they've certainly been looking locked in offensively.
They sure have, staying aggressive and playing in control.
Let's the 3-5. Good.
Well, for a guy like an MP trying to make a name for himself, hitting threes, they'll go a long way.
And what a surprise season for Paris FC. Most had them in the middle of the pack, but as we've mentioned, they have a chance to clinch a spot in the EVA tourney tonight.
And it shows you how a few key players can make a monster difference. The chemistry on this team has come together, and they have played far greater than the sum of their parts.
Here's Frye. He's got 5. Here's Sadirko, and he takes it in for the layup off the very nice lead.
Wow, Sadirko with 3 key words.
Get off me. Look at that block. Better be
with it. Looking for his first basket still in this one. Here's Frye. And Paris, another triple.
And that'll raise their field goal percentage even more. They're enjoying a big edge in that category.
And that's because they've been playing smart basketball. They've been very patient offensively, and the shot selection has been great.
Such a high IQ on this team. When you look at the path Paris FC took to get to this point, the youngsters on the team have stepped up big time.
And this team has looked out of gas. Guys like MP have stepped up and found ways to keep them going. It's kind of a Cinderella story, but they feel that they're far from midnight.
Look at that. Just over-submitting.
Parker a screen. To stop the run. That shot off. Domination in the first quarter. It's been pretty lopsided. Paris FC basket ahead. Up 11. And the second quarter is on the way when we return.
I'm a real man, Scout. I am a Scout. Call me Scout. No Hamby.
Welcome back to Paris for the second quarter.
Where are all my viewers? My Twitch viewers. never mind. They were just loading.
Marseille trailing. And here we are in Paris, such an incredible city. Obviously a cultural center for the world, but also the heart of the basketball scene in France.
So many great players have gotten their start here, and what a dream it must be for these players to come and play in Paris. You can feel it's surreal. I can imagine, but everybody on the teammate just got their spots tonight. Goodness, it's the Eagle, Louis DePaul, making him look silly.
Frye, guarded by Dupont. Shot high post.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Pass to Frye. 5 on the clock. Elich hits the three-point bomb.
How to defend this shot at Elich? And this is
it's a highlight.
Tall guy, especially for his position.
Highlight. Not close to a highlight.
And here's Barrow. Here's Valois. Shoots over Elich. Elich the block. Guarded by Dupont. Second quarter of play with almost 3 minutes gone. Here's Ahern. And it's in.
It's good to see Ahern being assertive inside. He's got a good sense for when he wants to score.
Pass to Riyard. Nice D from Portier. Here's Frye. To the middle.
That's a highlight.
Done by the Fuhrer.
Maybe it's not.
That's as forceful a finish as you're ever going to see out of this guy.
Which adds to their lead in spectacular fashion.
2 points the fancy way.
Yeah, the fancy way. I like the fancy way, right? Who doesn't? And that lead's only going to get bigger, though, if they're not prepared to defend a little more staunchly than that.
Pass to Parker. Brisebois. Looking to end the run, and he lays it in.
Well, this is where Parker excels. When he's inside near the basket, he can be a force.
He's inside, he can be a force.
Here's Frye. He's got 10. Off target with the 3.
They robbed.
Now here's Bourgeois. D right on him.
This game really did rob.
Pass to DuPont. Parker a screen. And it's DuPont missing. Here's Frye. Guarded by DuPont. Frye, good.
You know, we saw MP get tested multiple times this season by his opponents and sometimes really by his own team. But he's passed every test thrown his way.
And the resilience that MP has shown this year cannot be ignored. It's not easy to find success in a strange land, but MP has done that and then some.
Just grab it.
Brisebois outside. Shot clock at 6. From outside, off the mark. Pass to Frye. Again, it's Paris.
He is definitely making his presence felt here in the first half. Doing it so efficiently.
So as we conclude the first half, so far fairly one-sided. Paris FC basket ahead, up by 16. And time now for the halftime break with the third quarter soon to follow on 2K Sports. Yeah, if you're just joining us here on 2K Sports, it's Paris FC Basket hosting Marseille Basketball.
Make sure y'all stay tuned in to Root Heads for the uncensored shower stream.
Well, you look at the French culture, they absolutely love their sports here.
Soccer, or rather, let me be correct here, football is still king and probably always will be. But basketball isn't too far behind now. The popularity of the sport has exploded here the last few years. And with Wemby doing his thing in the NBA, I think it's going to continue to grow.
Now here's Barrow. Here's Bourgeois.
And he floats it in for the easy 2. Credit the assist on that one.
In the modern pro game, you need your forwards to score it inside, outside. Credit Bourgeois there.
Pass to Elich. Frye. Expanding his range. Offensive rebound. Again, it's Paris.
Love the effort right there from Elich. He knows exactly what it takes to win.
Arrow outside. To the inside. Bourgeois. And Elich pulls it down. Here's Frye. The three-pointer.
Wide open. I hate this guy.
Off the mark. Here's Dupont. And he gets the bucket.
Well, it doesn't take a private eye to figure out why they called Dupont Le. He simply soars through the air, and along with Barcelona's Alvarez, has a claim for the best dunker in Europe.
Reminds me a bit of a player named Anji, who played a few years over here. You might remember him as the Flying Dragon. They both have the ability to explode off the floor when they take it to the rack.
And Parker with the slam.
Way big near the basket. I love seeing Parker go up with this kind of
That's a
force.
negative to my teammate there. I got knocked off.
Pass to Elich.
You should feel bad for him.
Drills it from outside.
That was simply a defensive breakdown there. He was all alone for that shot. It was a warm-up jumper.
Arrow outside. Now here's Bourgeois. Defended by Elich.
Gritty mindset from Bourgeois in traffic. Marseille wants him at the line.
First trip to the free throw line for him in this one. He's perfect from the line this time. Not quite 2.5 minutes played here in the second half. Here's Frye. He's got 17. To the left side wing. Here's Portier for 3. It's good.
Stop, that's the 21 highlights, please, I'm done.
They are just killing that with the three-point shot here in the second half.
Yeah, and the defense knows it. They're fully stretched out there trying to stop the three and still haven't been able to do it.
I don't know defensively what they can do different at this point.
And they're making
my rebound.
this a runaway.
Yeah, the only question here for us to follow is how big the lead will eventually become.
And you think back to how MP looked at the start of this season. We've seen a lot of growth in his game.
You know, you think back, Blake, you talk about the start.
Oh, no. We need an instant replay on this. There are 2 people in front of me. One just likes the sight of the basketball, so he was looking at it the entire way. That is not my fault. Why are they not both guarding me?
Start of this season, there were some shaky moments, but once he started getting comfortable, you could see everything start to fall in place for him.
Once he starts getting comfortable with the ball.
Paris FC.
Now here's Brisebois. Right side Dupont. Gets it to drop, and he's now shooting at a 5 for 8.
He's Kyrie Irving.
Around the basket is where DuPont really excels.
Up top is Sior. Pass to Frye. Shoots over to Hall. The bank shot, no good. Here's Marseille with the ball. They trail by 18. And the jam by Parker.
And how sweet a play was that?
As sweet as it gets, Tim. An exquisite pass to set up the alley-oop dunk.
Some eye candy for the fans.
Yeah,
then the announcer calls me as sweet as it gets.
And then there are assists.
Here's Frye. 19 points in the game. In transition, here's Marseille. Brisebois, no good. And here's Paris. They led the game at 1 point by 20. And there's the call. It's going to be an illegal screen.
The idea of setting a screen on that play, it was the good idea, the right idea, but the execution was not.
Yeah, you really want to set a hard screen, but you also want to make sure it's a legal one.
Here's Riard. And a nice shot by Valois.
Textbook. Nice pass, nice catch, nice shot.
Pass to Frye. Lets it go from deep. Marseille basketball pulls it in. Blue ball for three. He can't get that one. Here's Frye. The 17.
That better be.
Goes down. And here at the end of the third quarter, it's a double-digit
You know what? I always
game.
believe I never lost to.
Up by 16.
I never lost
Don't go
to.
anywhere. The final.
I never lost to.
Welcome back. It's the final quarter of action here. But
Oh my God! I only have 3 minutes to get your foul. That's just so unfair. Done.
Breezeball outside. DuPont. Off the mark. Had a chance there to trim it to single digits. We talked about it earlier that MP and Louis DuPont would be the key for their respective teams. So far, that's been the case.
It really has. He knew that Legler would get his points, but MP has matched him every step of the way. Great effort from both of them.
Not sure what he was thinking on that shot, but I can agree. That is not smart basketball.
Not at all. He shouldn't have even considered taking that shot. I mean, every possession matters.
The next foul will put them in the bonus.
And you know they'll be trying to draw that next one quickly so they can start getting those easy chances at the line and get some easy buckets.
Now Paris FC basket with it. 11-point game. Offline with the three.
The defense, they have to be thrilled. He keeps shooting those threes. He has been awful this half.
Pass to Zadirko. Frye. He's covered by Barrow. Good on the shot.
Well, MP certainly found his groove tonight. The defense can't allow him to keep rolling like this.
Takes it out to Barrow. Yes, and it's Dupont with the assist that time.
Well, when they desperately needed to get things turned around, they were able to do it and get back into this game.
And it was their defense, just as much as their offense, that served as the catalyst and allowed them to put this run together.
What a display. He's got such a great touch and feel around the basket. He makes that reverse look easy.
That counts, and he's put up 13 shots. Now he's made 8 of them.
Well, it's a good thing he showed up today, because without him, they'd be in much deeper trouble.
Pass to Dumont. Over Barrow. Again, it's Paris.
You know, I'd like to see more of that out of him. He's been passing up shots more than usual, even though he's been hitting the ones that he takes.
Here's Frye. From deep. Cans it from downtown.
An example right there, guys, of how they never started coasting, even as their lead kept growing.
Well, Tim, they're just a determined group. There's no neutral here. No matter what the lead is, it's only full speed ahead, and that's the type of basketball I love to watch.
Yeah, 100 miles an hour.
But they get it back.
You talk about pride. MP was not letting him in the lane.
And that one good.
I was looking for
and if they want, they can milk the clock a little bit here.
Great point, Blake. That'd be the best option. I'd agree. You should coach.
Ball right side. Pass to Parker. That one falls, coming off Breezeball's feet.
Coaching that stuff. It's closer than truth, but
here's Dumont. And they are this close to putting it away.
Yeah, and they don't need to do anything special. Just take time off the clock. And most importantly, don't turn it over. Yeah, don't pull a Tim. I mean, it's pretty simple at this point. They cannot afford to give him that kind of look.
Well, it came off a good screen, but still, as a defender, you have to fight over the top of it.
And you need some help as well.
And confident play we're seeing out of them.
Yeah, the scoreboard tells the story.
Here's Frye. Another three for Paris.
Look at me now. Bills off 30, call me Kobe.
Final horn sounds, and Paris FC gets the win. They have now secured a spot in the EVA tournament, and what a thrill it must be for all these
And congratulations on the big win. How does it feel to clinch a spot in the EVA championships?
It feels great.
It feels incredible!
This cornball. I hate MP's voice so much.